My in-laws have always seen me as the happy duck-up. When I met their daughter, I was applying to medical school. I came myself, but didn't get in. It was heartbreaking to get the rejections, but I applied again and got in. Medical school was a grind. I was always studying, put on a lot of weight, lost a lot of weight, put it back on, and am now somewhere in the middle. It has always meant that my life started very late. My significant other, Lindsay, 29 female, supported me, paid our bills, took lead on a lot of things in our life. I often didn't know how much money we had in the bank or what bills had or hadn't been paid. I would visit my in-laws and they'd joke about how my significant other was in charge and I was second banana. They felt because I was so frayed and out of it that I was a duck-up and the proverbial medical school reject. Anyhow, I finished medical school, got into a great residency program, and recently got into one of the top programs in my field. There were literally thousands of candidates from across Europe and North America. They select 25 people for interviews. 10 are offered a seat, and usually 8 or 9 do accept. I accepted. I will start this summer. I have never been this proud or happy in my life. I will admit to crying a wee bit in my hotel after I got the offer. My hands shook as I called my wife and told her, and she began to cry. We'll be relocating this spring, and I'll begin my work shortly thereafter. When we told my mom, she began to scream and was so happy for me. The whole family was happy. Friends called from all over, and we even had a party. My in-laws have not been that great. They have requested that I do not speak of it at Christmas. My sister-in-law has told my mother-in-law that I am not to make mention of it, that I cannot talk about my future plans, and I am not to share details, as they only serve to make my sister-in-law and her husband jealous, and she won't have it. I've never rubbed it in her face. What I have had rubbed in my face are her fat jokes and about my ever-changing waist. My father-in-law warned me not to duck up, and my mother-in-law, while gracious, thinks no one will take me seriously because I'm too young. Collectively, they believe that I could already have a decent job if I had just gotten some work, that I'm putting us into heavy debt over this education, and, while great, isn't putting food on their daughter's table. I could be a welder or a plumber and have given them grandchildren instead of this. Not to be mean, but duck them. I got really incensed. Her whole family treats me like I'm ruining my significant other's life and a freeloading mooch. Their comments were hurtful, rude, and I told her that if they couldn't be nice, they could have said nothing. I don't feel like spending time with them on Christmas and could easily book myself some work. She wants to have a big family gathering, but I'm not in the mood and think they should apologize for being rude. My significant other defended them and said I'm too sensitive from overwork and I should just enjoy Christmas. Am I being too sensitive? I feel like I've taken a lot of crap and this is just the capper on all of it. Oh, and they dislike my vocation until they need advice, in which case they call me day or night, especially night. And there's the real problem. They know you're not a duck-up. They think your sister-in-law is a duck-up. Sister-in-law probably thinks she is a duck-up. They need to pretend you are a duck-up, so they can pretend sister-in-law is not a duck-up. They need you to continue in your duck-up role, and will not forgive you if you try to leave it. Wow, your wife is wrong. She needs to have your back and stand up to their disrespect. If she won't, expect a life of misery being dragged down by her family and her not supporting you. Dude, you're a ducking doctor, and you've been accepted to a prestigious program. Your wife needs to get on board and put her family back in its box. Congratulations on your awesome achievement. So, this is a bit of an awkward situation, but I honestly think that my future mother-in-law may be jealous of me, not just my relationship with my fiancé, 25 male, but in life in general. There are several things that I think point to this, but I have no clue how to bring it up or put a stop to it before it gets out of hand. Examples of her seemingly jealous behavior. When my fiancé and I got engaged, he took me to Paris for a vacation. It was all very sweet and gorgeous. When we got back, my future mother-in-law started saying things like, "Wow, I wish he," referring to my fiancé, "would take me out and do big nice things for me," and "You're so lucky that he loves you enough to do something that grand for you." When I showed her the ring, she commented that she thought it was gaudy, but something she'd love to have from someone who truly loves her while she looked really sad. When I got my new job, she said, "Oh, I'd love to be lucky enough to be as successful at everything as you are." After that incident, she started getting angrier and more hateful about the things going on in my life. At one point, I got really sick for a few days, and my fiancé canceled some plans they had to be with me in the hospital. She called him about 25 times while he was at the hospital with me. Not kidding. Nagging him and trying to guilt trip about it. After that didn't work with him, she sent me a long text message asking how it felt to be mesmerized and fascinating enough to be able to steal someone's only son away from them so easily. This one really sort of freaked me out, and I told my fiancé that he needed to handle it, and he talked to her, and I distanced myself from her, and she backed off, until recently. My fiancé's family, his mom, 2 sisters, nieces, nephews, came to our house for Thanksgiving, and as soon as his mother walked in, she said, "Oh, the house is great. It's exactly what I thought someone like you would pick out." I gave them all a house tour while my fiancé finished cooking, and she said, "How amazing is the S that you can make him do that. I wish I could have something like that." That creeped the duck out of me. The house tour ended early, and this time I let her know that was totally inappropriate to say, as did her daughters. Of course, that upset her and made her break down crying, saying, "Of course they love you more than they love me." After she calmed down, she decided to come and eat with us, and things were very tense and awkward. My niece commented that one of the pies I made was very good, and my mother-in-law lost it. I mean lost it. She started hysterically screaming and crying about how I'm better at everything than her, and things like that, and she ran out to her car and left and drove to a hotel in the next town. I'm an older woman with a grown son. He's not in a serious relationship yet, but I'm sure he will be. All while my sons have been growing up, I've been constantly told how I'm the most important woman in the boys' lives, and how they are just my little gentlemen. A lot of talk over the years has been almost describing my sons as my new boyfriends. The difference between a lot of mothers and me? I didn't believe it. I knew my boys would try to follow their father's example, as they should, to learn how to grow up as men, because I knew about child development. Yes, they test out how to behave around women. Mine have learned to make me laugh, and that's how they treat women generally, making them laugh. But that's it. I never bought the whole "you are the most important woman in his life" stuff. It's really that I'm a trusted woman insider whom they can get to the nitty-gritty with. His training wheels woman, before I inflict him on the female population at large. Your mother-in-law seems to believe all the stuff I was told, and thus she's coming to this sad realization now. She's not the most important woman in his life. He now confides in you. You are the woman he cares about most. She can see it clearly. I've seen this behavior in plenty of mothers. They behave as if they should be competing with the new girlfriend, rather than seeing her as the fantastic match that they are for their boys, or appreciate how much their sons have and have grown up into. I don't think there's a mental disorder here. We've all heard the mother-in-law jokes. And to be honest, armchair diagnosis doesn't actually solve anything. So she is jealous and she is behaving as a romantic rival because, for some reason, people like to shovel that crap at mothers and sons and set that up. You can even see that in this thread. Unfortunately, she seems to have no pride, so she's behaving like a teenage girl who's fighting for her man. My advice is that you should just keep on keeping on. She'll eventually have to get over it. She never had a legitimate chance, and she'll soon learn. You can't fix the years of poison poured into her ears until she realizes it's a lie. If your fiancé tries to do it, that will just reinforce this whole fighting for your man drama, because that'll be like a breakup. I wouldn't worry about what she's going to do to you. She's already running away from upsetting things rather than doing anything directly to you. Presumably, she runs away like teen girls do, in the hopes that the one who really loves them chases after them. For you, if you can have this perspective, I think it'll be a lot easier just to bear with it. We have been dating for a year and a half. We had a pregnancy scare last week. She is not pregnant. We were relieved, but also slightly disappointed. We were talking about the topics of children, and the subject of gender came up. I don't care about gender. She said she only wanted boys and didn't want girls. I understand having a preference, but this sounds really extreme, so I asked what she would do if the baby turned out to be a girl. She said she would get it terminated. We ended the conversation as I really didn't know what to say to that. I have been thinking about it, and I am really worried. I am worried if she will be a good parent to any child, frankly. I just don't understand it. She has a terrible relationship with her mother, and I think some of her reluctance may stem from that. I just don't know how to deal with this and talk about it. She hates talking about her mother, and I think this will be a very hard topic to discuss. I need some advice on how to handle this sensitively. OP, I am a daughter to a mother who told me at 11 I would have gotten an A had I known you'd be a girl. It stemmed from her being a narcissist and hating me for taking my dad's attention away from her, because surely a boy child wouldn't do that, being his first kid. And let me tell you, I sadly can't have biological children, but my husband has 2 kids, 8 and 5. Boy is 8 and girl is 5. I've been in their life since she was 1, and I absolutely love my relationship with her. She's my best friend, and nothing, I mean nothing, beats the first time she called me mom. Don't get me wrong, I love my son too, but I was so terrified of turning out like my mom. So it's been life-changing realizing it was my mom's fault, and not how all mother-daughters are. Your girlfriend's stand on it is something that she needs to see a therapist about, because it's absolutely not healthy. And I would advise you to start taking better precautions with S till girlfriend gets therapy, because even if she did get pregnant, and keep it, if it was a girl, she will absolutely have a toxic relationship with the kid, because she needs to fix her underlying issues first. Background: my sister and I were born into a terribly abusive, poverty-stricken family. Because our parents were either always drunk or high or never around, my sister basically had to raise me by herself. The minute she turned 18, she took me with her and we ran. We were homeless for a short while, but my sister always took care of me. She worked wherever she could, always made sure I was fed and clothed, even made sure I went to school. I owe her more than you can imagine. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to go to college, and a high school diploma doesn't open many doors. When she turned 20, she started working as an escort. A client of hers was really taken with her and proposed they start a sugar daddy baby relationship. She continued on with this relationship until she was 24. Pretty long for a relationship like that, but my sister and this guy really liked each other and continued to be friends. My sister has always been upfront with me, and while it did take me a while to work over my feelings about my sister being a S worker, I realized that it didn't change her as a person at all. I felt guilty that she had to do all of this for me, but she always insisted that being a sugar baby was great for both of us. Her sugar daddy was the nice middle-aged Japanese man that taught her the language, got her to take the JLPT, and later certified to teach Japanese, which is her current job at a local college. It seemed like for the first time in a long time, my sister was able to breathe. We got an apartment. I got to continue my schooling. Everything was great. Current issue: my sister and I still live together. My girlfriend, who I've been with for a little over a year now, was over at our apartment 2 months ago. We came from a party, so we were both pretty drunk. When we got there, I noticed my sister wasn't home. My girlfriend asked if she can go into my sister's bathroom and use her makeup remover. And because I was wasted and not thinking, and because I trusted her, I let her go. She comes out after a few minutes with a photo she said was found in the drawer of my sister's vanity as she was looking for the makeup remover. It was an old photo of my sister and her sugar daddy hugging and looking pretty intimate. And this is where I ducked up, guys. At the time, I guess I wasn't just the alcohol that influenced me, but the fact that I thought I knew and trusted this girl. I got giddy seeing the picture, told her this dude was the guy that helped my sister turn our lives around. I told her the whole ducking story. When I woke up this morning, my girlfriend didn't say anything about it, and I thought that was that. Fast forward to last Monday. I found out that while I had been running around getting a surprise ready for her birthday, She was ducking a friend of mine. I told her it was over, and she came over with all the excuses and begged me to take her back. Today, she messaged me with a picture she took of the photo my sister had on her vanity and a screenshot of the guy's LinkedIn. She told me I either take her back or she'll tell my sister's bosses about how she used to be a filthy W. I'm scared, guys, and I don't know what to do. I know that sugaring isn't legal and that the photo can't really prove anything, but rumors like that could potentially kill my sister's career in the academia. I haven't told my sister yet, and I haven't messaged her back yet. What do I do? I can't believe I've ducked this up for my sister. I'm in college because of her. I'm going to med school because of her. If she weren't here, if she didn't decide to do whatever she could for me, I'd probably be dead in a ditch somewhere. Your girlfriend is a piece of crap. That photo is private property. I'm pretty sure she has a weak case anyway, as she's operating on what you said and not what she saw. The photo proves nothing, except that your sister had a relationship with an older guy. But tell your sister what happened. She might want to get a lawyer and send a cease and desist, as this is harassment.